Hello everyone, welcome to the greenhouse, welcome to the channel. I'm Danny, and if this is your first time here, welcome. I'm happy to have you in the greenhouse with us, and if you've been here before, as always, welcome back. You might see my little yellow chair missing, and my mother-in-law gave me this chair that's a little bigger and more comfortable. But that's the chair I sit in when I water and just like to inspect the plants and stuff. But you might also notice that there are some empty shelves. I moved all of my big no ID Phalaenopsis hybrids outside because we're having perfect fall weather to help promote spiking. So I moved all of the big phals outside, and I'll let them stay outside until about 55 degrees. And at this late of the year, the sunshine, the direct sunshine, is not going to burn them. And I'm hoping there's like 20-ish, 25-ish. But I'm kind of going to shoot myself in the foot with that, because if all of them spike, I don't know where I'll put all of those tall spikes. But that's not the reason why I'm making this video. I want to show you guys some of the sick ICU, just rough shape plants, orchids, and give you an update on them. So come on in the greenhouse. Well, the first one is not in the greenhouse. I moved it out here about 2 days ago, and there's no hope for this one. Let me show you. Yeah, it developed some kind of crown rot. The spotting was happening. I don't know. I got it from the Maui Orchid Whisperer at the beginning of the year, and it's just really struggled since getting to me. Came pretty rootless, limp. Yeah, so that one's going to go in the trash bin. I don't know if some of you remember, but I had slugs and snails attacking my beautiful, very sentimental Sherry baby to me, and they were attacking it hard. Now you can see all this new growth coming in. Here's some right here. It's got a spike coming in right there, and obviously this beautiful spike that's in bloom. And I just noticed the other day on my new growth. So welcome back to the snails and the slugs. Welcome. It was a very short-lived month that I did not see you, so welcome back to the greenhouse. I'm not happy you're here. In the springtime, I used this stuff right here. I found it. I thought I had thrown this away, so I'm really glad I found this. I used this stuff to get rid of pests in the greenhouse, spider mites, and it even said on the back that it would get rid of slugs and snails. And it is safe for bees and butterflies, because at that time I had a lot of bees and butterflies coming into the greenhouse. So I used this, and I would never ever use this on any plant, anything again, and let me show you why. It created such a sticky residue on anything it touched. Can you see? Well, there you can see the stickiness. See that shiny stuff? It left an oil behind that is so sticky that I tried even cleaning. At one point in time, I went through almost every single plant in this greenhouse. I didn't use it on every single plant, that's why I say almost. But wiping down every leaf as best as I could, because it left the sticky residue behind, which has caused it to collect dust and moisture and mold, and it even left it on the pots, the ID tags, roots. Never ever use that stuff. It has been torture for me trying to clean up the aftermath. This is a Phalaenopsis that I ordered from Orchids.com, also known as Norman's Orchids, during that experimental order, and it came rootless and just really bad shape. And we've got roots, and it's doing great. It's growing new leaves. It's doing awesome. So I'm really happy about that one too. I don't care much for the bloom, but I'm happy it's living now. This Oncidium took a really hard hit from that pest preventative that I used, and you can see it took a very hard hit. I had to cut off most of its leaves because I could not get that sticky mold off, and it was looking really, really horrible. I mean, look at the ID tag, and I've tried to clean it. It's just a mess. It's a mess, and it's in spike. It's in spike. So I'm gonna let it bloom and then take those nasty bulbs out of there and try to get it in some fresh media, a new pot, and see what happens after it blooms. But hopefully this is not my last spike out of it, because I love it. It's yellow and it smells like honey, and it's one of my favorite Oncidiums. So again, don't use that stuff. Here is the little Phalaenopsis equestris ceruleaform, and that plant right there in the middle is the main mother plant. And she is still, she's trying. She's trying her best to live. And she'll put out 2 leaves, and as soon as she starts putting out that second leaf, that third leaf starts wrinkling and dying. But she has put out 3 keikis for me, trying to survive. So right now, it's still kind of in limbo, but it looks like we're going to be able to save her. Here's a Phalaenopsis from bigleaforchids.com, and it's been really, really struggling. The root system was not phenomenal. I think it had 3 roots on it, and those 3 roots that it did have rotted pretty fast. And so I switched it to this bark mixture with a top layer of moss to help promote roots, and it has started growing roots. I'm not going to uncover it because I don't want to disturb it, but there are 2 new roots growing now. But as soon as I saw the beautiful new roots growing, we have this issue now. So this has been treated with Physan 20, and I'm just waiting around. It was in quarantine for a little bit after treating with Physan 20. I moved it back to the greenhouse, and now I'm just waiting around to make sure I don't see any more of those speckles or dots or whatever those things are pop up. Here is another Equestris ceruleaform. This one is from Orchids.com. The one I showed earlier in the video was not from Orchids.com. And as you can see, this one also got tore up by the snails or slugs. And I mean, look at the ID tag as well. It just, that pest preventative and killer I put on did that orchid in. But it has the will to live, 2 beautiful new leaves, and a keiki with some nice roots happening. And I'm so happy about that, because I gave this one some TLC and it paid off. For the most part, that is most of the TLC sick orchid update. And I'll update you guys in about another 2 to 3 months on how everything's doing. And again, I think I said this in my last video that I made with the sick orchids, or the orchids that just started thriving. I think it's very important for people that have a social media platform that grows any kind of plant and that has a large collection to show everyone else that we also have plants that we kill. I've killed quite a few this year, and plants that just don't thrive well in our environment. And I think that's important. So thanks for coming along, everyone. Happy growing. Stay safe. Till next time.